Ready for a bit of PlayStation?
It's our first collaboration.
It is. It is. Oh, did you? I've not turned the camera on. Did you need the camera on?
No, I don't.
No.
I actually haven't got a. I need to make one, but I don't have a scene ready for having the camera on as well.
No, me neither. Looking forward to this then tonight. What are your expectations?
I don't really have any. The only thing I would say that we'll probably see is something like God of War Ragnarok, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm hoping for something unusual tonight. I'd like to see. I mean, we're going to see some more Ratchet and Clank, and you know, I guess there's a couple of usual ones, but I'd like to be surprised by something tonight.
I mean,
you know,
I always like being surprised.
Delayed. Yeah, well, exactly. Gran Turismo's been delayed. VR headset will be revealed next year, I guess.
You won't see anything now.
It'd be interesting to see. Maybe there'll be some other sort of backward compatibility updates as well.
I don't think they're going in with that as much as Microsoft is, though.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that new thing they announced the other week about like a I don't know what they called it, but some kind of like boost, Xbox boost, where you get like frame rate updates on old games?
Yeah, really impressive. Actually, I watched Digital Foundry. Some really nice, really big improvements there. And yeah, there's just so many games I would like to see brought up to date. I mean, PlayStation has such a huge heritage of titles from the PS1 era in particular. I'd love to see HD remakes. I mentioned on Twitter earlier, I would love a Ridge Racer pack. You know, Ridge Racer 5, 4K, 60, steering wheel compatibility. That's like dream gaming for me. It would never happen because...
Funnily enough, I actually mentioned in the stream earlier that could be a cool game to kind of bring back. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I just worry. Do Namco know how to make something like that? I mean, they made the Ace Combat recently, which was excellent. But I just wonder if the right people are still there artistically with a vision. Because for me, Ridge Racer 5 was the peak, and Ridge Racer 6 and 7 tailed off in a disappointing way. They basically were going down conversions of the Ridge Racers on the PSP. Yeah. And it didn't feel like Ridge Racer to me anymore. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people love those games, but they didn't feel like Ridge Racer to me. And then you ended up with the Unbounded nonsense, which was fun in its own way.
I quite liked it. Yeah, I quite liked it, but it wasn't a Ridge Racer game. It's more like a split second.
Yes.
But not as good.
But not as good, exactly. Yeah. And I love Split Second. I would love to see a sequel to that with massive graphics.
Oh, so would I. I really, really would.
So much potential. So if only we were making the games, Tom, we had the power.
I don't think we'd be in the business because we'd be trying to please too many people.
Oh, I don't know. I think we'd make kick-ass games. That's what I think.
Not going for the microtransaction money.
No. Well, there is that. Well, you know, it's like when people they instead of adding to a game, they reduce what's in the game and then try making you pay for more stuff that should have been in the game in the first place. That's what it annoys me.
Yeah.
And that's really just squeezing the cash out of you. Right, I'm just going to advertise this stream as well on my...
Well, I was going to say, actually, we jumped the gun slightly. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Goodness. Hello, viewers. So my name's Alan. I run a channel called Team VVV, which is all about racing games and motorsport. But I'm a general gamer. I've worked in the games industry for 27 years this year. And I've covered just about everything from retail and publishing to development to journalism and TV in those years. And I've known Tom for the best part of getting on 18 years now. Tom was a viewer when I was on TV years ago. And we got on really well. We got to know each other and become good friends. And we can talk about all things gaming forever, basically.
It goes on for hours.
Hours for hours. I'm kind of like one of those historians when it comes to games. So you'll probably find any conversation with me will end up somewhere in the creation of gaming. You know. By the way, I love it. You know, from being at the first presentations for PlayStation and PS2 and Xbox, you know, to seeing it today, I really look forward to these presentations. And sometimes you have good stuff, sometimes it's a bit dull, and sometimes it's a bit generic. But exciting times, always when you have a new console. So yes, I love everything games, but obviously racing games are a niche that
He's the man. If you want to know about racing games, Alan is the man.
I am. So it's Tom. Thank you for inviting me, and hello to everybody here. And
No,
like
it's
I say,
fine, man.
it's good to try this out because I think it's nice to have two of us chatting.
Yeah.
When you're watching something like this, we can debate about it, and you can tell them to fuck off, and I can be the sensible one.
Yeah, I can tell people to fuck off on my own stream. Yeah, it's fine.
I never swear. So that's the weird thing.
You can swear on my stream if you want.
I can swear on your stream. I know.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
This is a swear stream. This is a naughty stream, no.
This is a post watershed stream.
Absolutely. One of these days, like the Games Master Gore special, it'll be like that. That's what this is for me. This is my
honestly,
my
you should have it as a channel points thing. Like someone pays like 20,000 channel points, and you'll do like a rude stream or something.
Well, you know what? People talk to me about that. I quite like to do. Do you remember I like when watching racing, and I told you what was going through a driver's mind pretty accurately, and you actually saw it played out when a guy was thinking, "Fuck off, mate!" constantly on every corner. It's a bit like Aussie Man or something like that. You know?
Oh yeah, I know, yeah.
And I would talk to you in that way, but then when I go to the viewers, I have to sort of turn it down a bit completely. So you get kind of like half of me on a stream, but that's because my background, because it was all TV, when we had it so instilled into us how you behave on TV that it just becomes.
Yeah, I guess it's a
very
unexpected
hard habit to break, isn't it?
Anyway, we're practically onto the stream now. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
That last part might have been a hair dramatic.
Is this the Crash upgrade?
And additions coming to the Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time experience on PlayStation 5. Hey everyone.
Uber, yeah, definitely. I mean, they're bringing Games Master back, aren't they?
Give you the feature rundown on Crash
Probably won't be the
Bandicoot
same, but
PS5. That includes 4K at 60 frames per second, adaptive triggers, 3D audio, and more.
Let's make this fun.
Picking up where Crash Bandicoot Warp left off, in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, we find
this is a bit of a flaccid way to start. I'm not gonna lie. It's
interdimensional prison,
I mean, it's something that's already out.
What follows is a mind-bending adventure.
Everybody loves Crash. Gets everybody going.
Oh yeah.
Everybody in their seats.
We designed Crash Bandicoot 4 to leap off your.
This isn't the kind of thing that I look forward to on these kind of streams, though.
Crash Bandicoot has always looked pretty suave. But wait until you see him spinning heads in native 4K at 60 frames.
Like, this is a video that they could communicate in like a 10 or 15 second video.
And probably some errands to run. There's little time to wait on loading screens. The DualSense wireless controllers bring adaptive triggers to your fingertips.
I tell you what though, it is nice to have someone to talk to again on these kind of things. I haven't done that for a few years, like a couple of E3s ago actually.
You know, it's nice, isn't it? It just changes the whole approach to it, and we can each have different opinions on things as well. I mean, this is nice. It's funny now, we're talking about 4K 60, you know, 60 frames per second is now marketing language, whereas a few years ago it wasn't. It was just resolution. At least we're going to get fluid gameplay.
I'm glad they're going for 60 FPS now.
About time, isn't it? This conversation was had, I will say, in the mid 90s. We wanted 60 FPS, and all games on the Dreamcast were supposed to be 60 FPS. You know, they were actually talking about games that way.
Well, you look at like most Mega Drive games, Super Nintendo stuff, they ran at 60, didn't they?
And use the activity cards to get to 106%. Oh, and one more thing.
It's nice that we're finally there now.
The game, an upgrade option is available.
Hopefully they stick with it. I'm sure it won't be the case for everything.
Whether it's your first playthrough or your 100th, there's no better time to experience Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time.
Christ, you don't want to play this game 100 times, do you?
Welcome back, Crash. The gang's all here on today's new edition of State of Play. We've got some great updates lined up for you. First, let's check out the latest on an eagerly anticipated game coming to the PS5 console this spring from PlayStation Studios.
Hey everyone, we at Housemarque are excited to give you this sneak peek at Returnal.
Have you seen much about this, Alan?
No, trailer was really impressive. I saw before. Looked atmospheric. Very cool art design.
It's like a roguelike.
White shadow. Players will explore this inscrutable, dark planet in search for answers.
Looks nice.
And unfold mysteries.
Yeah, it is very artistically. It looks really nice.
Force at play.
It interests me.
Dashing and
Like the art
quickly
design.
maneuvering your way above and around
Its textures,
enemies is key to
lighting
survival
effects.
in Returnal.
See, look, this looks really nice at 60 as well. Actually, you know what? I've been playing a bit of Anthem recently, and it reminds me of the combat in that a little bit.
Of course, that's been shut down today.
Hasn't been shut down.
With the large
Well,
variety
you know
of
what I mean.
enemies,
The ending development
developments.
of it, I guess.
movesets
Yeah.
that you possess,
That stopped.
combat situations prove
There's
challenging.
some lovely
no matter what
visuals
the
here, though, aren't there?
circumstances are.
Yeah.
Death is only the beginning.
I think this is out soon as well. Like,
Every time you
Month or
die
two?
and restart, the world
Does it
will
remind
change.
me of the
The
one in
map
the
will be
snow
different,
that was released on the
enemies will
Xbox
appear in new
360?
locations and in
Lost
different
Planet?
numbers,
Lost
so you have to
Planet.
think
Reminds me a
fast
little bit of
and
Lost
adapt.
Planet there.
Here you can see the use of the lightning alt fire, which
I
is
can see
great
that.
for crowd control. This is one of many alt fires that you can acquire in the game.
this is not. Did you? I don't know if you remember seeing the first trailer for this. Like, it was just a CG one, but did not expect it to be this
You
kind
will
of
stumble
game.
across mysterious devices that can
No.
grant rewards to the player. These will vary from weapons,
Not
consumables,
high-speed
and
shooting,
upgrades,
run and
and
gun
they can
action in
completely
this
change
way,
your
no.
playstyle and make each cycle
It's the way the character dodges as well. Sort of reminds me of Lost Planet or
Besides
even
the intense
Vanquish a
combat,
little bit in terms of the
Returnal also has
movement.
a deep and
Very
engaging
Vanquish,
narrative.
yeah. That's a
We
good,
allow
good
players to
comparison.
piece together the puzzle that is the story of Celine as they venture deeper and deeper into Atropos
Oh, that
and
looks
into
cool.
her personal nightmare.
That can't be here. I think I am reliving my memories in that house, but not fully. They're corroded. Some parts are missing, others seem manufactured.
Oh, no worries, Wing. Tell me about Outriders later, though. I'd be interested to hear about that.
Like I was losing my mind.
I couldn't tell you about monitors, Uber Vat. I've only got a hand-me-down as my second
No
monitor.
safe space.
My main monitor's a TV.
Exactly as I left it.
Seems like partially a horror game then, of sorts.
Interesting.
Returnal
Interesting
lands
change
on
of
April 30th,
style. I
and
think
it's
the end
developed by
style
the
was more what I was
talented team at
expecting. A
Housemarque.
sort of more slower, more subtle.
Next, let's take a
Rather
closer
than slightly
look at a
fast-running gun, perhaps it has
high-impact
two
new
different
PS4 game
distinct
called
aspects to it.
Knockout City.
It's probably the story bits like that are told in first person, I guess. They showed this at the Nintendo thing the other day.
Hi, I'm Josh from Bellin Studios. We're an indie developer based in upstate New York, and we recently announced Knockout City. a
Fortnite,
team-based
the new
multiplayer action
Fortnite.
game for PS4
It's just
where rival crews
this
settle their scores with
Fortnite
epic
dodgeball.
battles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knockout
The
City
market
is
they're
easy to
after,
pick up
isn't
and
it?
play,
It's like
but there's a
you can
lot of
see the
depth here
marketing
for those
people
who've
have
got
sat around the table. They thought, right, how can we
1v1
do
face-off mode,
something
you'll
that
go
would
head-to-head
get
in
young
a
people
constantly shrinking
involved?
battleground
That
relying on your
includes
reflexes and
fashion
abilities
and
to knock out
odds
an
and
opponent.
bits and pieces
A
they can
well-timed
buy
catch powers up the ball, making it
separately
easier
via
to land a kick.
microtransactions, like that hang glider
Use trick shots
thingy.
to lob a ball over a ledge or hook it around a
And they're
corner.
just going for the next sort of like
Take the throw to
live
mess up your
service
opponent's
game, aren't they?
timing And knock them out before they can recover.
Like 9
When you're
times
in a
out of
tough
10 they
spot with
just
a ball
fall
flying
flat.
your way, a last-second dodge is the difference between
Like
getting
Anthem,
knocked out and
I
staying in the
suppose.
fight.
They can, yeah.
Keep your wits about you and outplay
Depends
your
on the
opponent to bring
style and the
home a win.
ambition and the feeling. This, you know, if we copy Fortnite in some way, then
Let's jump into
stylistically
TKO,
in
our
some way,
3v3 mode. Teamwork makes
doesn't
the dream
interest
work
me.
in Knockout City.
No, this
Your
is
crew's
the
out
kind of thing
a
that I'm
well-coordinated team that's still
literally couldn't give a fuck about.
We're playing a back alley brawl. A new map that
they-
you'll find in
they
our
did,
upcoming crossplay beta.
that-
The
oh, what was
special
that
ball for this
game?
match is the sniper
Not Rocket
ball,
League,
which
but
locks onto targets from
Rocket
far
Arena?
across the map and wham!
Yeah.
Which was an
Take them out
EA one
before
as
they have a
well, and I
chance
think
to
that's
react.
already on its
Beyond
on its
special balls,
arse because there's
each
probably
map
no one
features a
playing it.
unique mechanic. In back
Yeah.
alley brawl, you can hop into a tube and make a quick getaway, or
I
use
mean,
them to
unless
sneak
you
up on
have
your
cross-play and lots of advertising, and you
Yeah.
make
You can
it,
literally
and you get
become
some
the
big
ball,
streamers
a new
on it,
weapon for your
and you
teammate.
make it so that kids are talking about it in the playground. You can't.
Risk it
This
all.
kind of stuff
Charge up a
comes in
teammate,
and just
launch them
disappears
high into the
again.
air
But
with an ultimate throw,
you
and
know,
they'll land in
this
a
has got
huge
some.
instant.
I don't know if it has cross-play. I was assuming it might. 'Cause it looks very similar.
I guess you only need a few whales to play it to really keep it going, though.
Knockout City is coming out May 21st.
I hate that term, but it's a good term.
Rally your crew and sign up for our crossplay beta.
Mercy, thank you for the host, dude.
Early on PlayStation. See you soon, brawlers.
Yeah, I can't fault them for going for it, because like that, it seems like that'd be quite cheap to make, and it could get a lot of money if it works. But like you say, it's good that they're bringing crossplay into the mix now, because that's definitely something that can keep a smaller game like that going.
PS5 game from the team at Slow Clap.
Slow Clap. Do we know what they've made before? That looks like that bit in... Oh, what's that film? Where he's like punching down a hallway. That Korean film. No. Oh, shit,
yes.
I can't remember. You know the one.
Yep.
No,
Yep,
not Ong
I know
Bak.
the one.
No, it's the older dude.
Yes, Old Boy.
Old Boy, that's it. Yeah.
It does have that vibe to it, doesn't it? That's a great scene, actually.
Is really good. Old Boy Simulator 2021.
Old Boy, oh.
This looks kind of cool. Combat looks fun.
Interesting art, good animation.
Yeah. Yeah, the art style looks really cool. This is the kind of thing that I think looks a lot more interesting a lot of the time.
Yeah. We've got some really good animation here as well.
I thought that said shut the fuck up. Sifu, not STFU.
Was the debut of Sifu, coming to the PS5 console later this year.
It is the first one
Now
since the
let's get
Ball
an
one
update
race,
on
yeah.
Solar Ash, an epic new PS5
Oh,
adventure from Heart Machine.
This looked cool as well. This
Yeah.
is Annapurna. Their stuff's usually pretty good. As dumb as it sounds, I really liked the way their logo looked. I don't know if this is like some of these must be multi-platform as well. I
Hey
think.
everyone, I'm Alex Preston, creative director of Heart Machine. You might know us as the team behind Hyperlight Drifter. Today, I'm here to show you the first peek at gameplay for our new title.
Still need to play that as well, actually. Hyperlight Drifter.
Solar Ash is a huge, stylish 3D platformer focused on speed, movement, and fluidity. The game is set inside a giant black hole known as the Ultra Void, which has been consuming everything in its path. You play as Ray, a daring Void Runner who has decided to venture into this terrifying anomaly as a last-ditch effort to save her homeworld. Ray is extremely agile, able to speed across the world with abilities akin to skating. On the ashen clouds, she can quickly cover great distances in our huge world.
I'm in already.
At its core, Solar Ash is a game about movement, and Ray has everything she needs to flow through the dangerous and unique
That looks like it handles really well.
Yeah, it's very fluid, nice artistic style.
As you journey to save your planet, you'll find yourself face to face with grotesque and violent creatures. Our combat system is simple, fast, and fluid, built to empower players and encourage flow. As you explore the Ultra Void, enemy encounters will scale to greater and greater sizes. Some of these creatures require speed and precise timing to defeat.
I don't know if you've played it, but it kind of looks like a nicer looking Risk of Rain
Ray will
2.
eventually need to face the massive
I haven't played that
sentinels
one.
of this void.
No.
Wretched, starved beasts that hold the key to her quest.
Sort of almost like partially cell shaded.
I like art styles that explore different ideas like this. Gives it kind of an indie game look on a larger scale.
Yeah.
Solar Ash is Heart Machine's vision of the adventure platformer. The giant spaces, the feel of movement,
I really wanna play
flow of
this.
combat, and the high-stakes battles atop enormous beasts all come together to bring.
I think you're right though. Like
something we think is
graphics,
incredibly unique,
graphics are good,
and more
but I think
importantly,
art style is infinitely more important.
This game is a labor of
I often
love
tell that
for
to developers,
everyone
you
on
know,
the
it's not
Heart Machine
about
team.
it's about finding a
Excited to bring
style that
Solar Ash
works
to PS5
rather than
and PS4
just
later this
pushing
year.
raw polygons all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
If you're a fan of scary games, this next one is for you.
Not great with scary games.
First found you. You were nothing.
No, me neither.
Pathetic. But now, you are more. Are you ready?
Is this? It's not Five Nights at Freddy's, is it? I don't mind. I don't mind scary games where you can like protect yourself, like shoot back or whatever. But if it's running away from shit, I don't enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, especially VR scary games.
Oh no.
Too much for me.
I'm out.
I get shivers. I get kind of shivers. I'm like, ooh, horrible.
Can't be doing that. Yeah, this is the new Five Nights at Freddy's.
Get you out of here. You and me together.
She's like very big with the kids, or was big with the kids.
They won't stop hunting you. None of them will stop hunting you. We have to get you out by morning.
You will do as I say. You will bring me what I want. And if you fail me, then you will.
No thanks.
Yay, I want to ball pool.
I've always joked that if I win the lottery, I'll have a ball pit room.
Yeah.
Maybe a slide into it.
As long as I wash the balls regularly.
Oh yeah.
There is more going on here than you realize.
To be fair, no one else is going in it if I ever get it. It's just mine.
They're all your balls.
This is all my balls.
That was a chilling new look at Five Nights at Freddy's security breach.
That's like the 5th or
Up
6th
next,
game.
let's take a tour of Oddworld Soulstorm.
Didn't do anything for me at all.
No, nothing for me.
Nothing.
Hi, I'm Lorne Lanning.
Oddworld's another one that I
Oddworld
quite liked the
Developers.
original ones,
Today,
but
I'm gonna
I don't
take you
know
on a
how
brief
far they
tour
can
of our
take it,
newest game,
Yeah.
apart from making it look
Soulstorm.
nicer.
They've always known you would
Yeah,
come.
I love the original when it was first shown, the first ever one.
In Soulstorm, you reprise the role of Abe, accidental
putting a lot
hero
behind
turned
this in terms of
unlikely
exposure.
leader
They're
of
really
an
pushing it.
emerging revolution.
It
As
looks
you
lovely.
battle through weird
big
and
budget.
wonderful environments in an effort to escape the all-powerful and eternally greedy Gluckins. We really
think
wanted
it's
to bring
been
this
in development
world
for a
to
few
life
years
with
as
what
well.
we call 2.9D platforming, which adds much more depth and immersion for the player. This sense of connection is also reinforced through the use of
Cutscenes were still a distinctly 2D game matching the original style.
Heartbeat in high alert and suspenseful situations.
Okay, that's interesting. So it looks like it's because the old ones were a bit like flashback, weren't they? This looks a bit more like it's actually got some platforming.
More than helpless workers looking to be saved. When used effectively, you'll be able to solve puzzles, harness their combined energy, and be given the tools they need
Almost
to
reminded me a
fight
little of
alongside
Lemmings, almost that last scene.
There will be
You might have
times when
things
the
like
extra
that where you've got
hands
to
will be
direct
needed
them
as you face off against
some
an
way.
array of heavily
Yeah.
armed enemies that will stop at nothing to find and end Abe once and for all. In order to stand a chance against this much larger threat, we gave Abe the ability to scavenge, loot, and pickpocket items from his surroundings and use them to craft an impressive arsenal of his own that he can share with others.
Okay.
You can also play as a non-lethal pacifist or an agent of chaos. We wanted you to have the choice. But there is one iconic ability for our shamanic protagonist, possession.
I thought it was going to say
Allows
farting.
you to take control of your foes and use their strengths and weapons against them, or use them to gain access to paths still ahead. The Oddworld universe is a diverse place, and this means that there are some environments and situations that require a little
Mercy,
more
this
thought,
started
patience, and
about
stealth.
17 minutes ago.
You'll find dark and dangerous caves, heavily guarded industrial sites,
Sealy,
and
good to
ancient
see you.
forgotten lands. Here, we've built lots of opportunities for you to test your skills and find different ways to handle things.
About 17
It
minutes.
won't
That's
be
very
easy.
precise, Tom.
If being hunted by
Oh,
an
it's
army
17
backed by
past
a
10.
shady and
It
wealthy
is.
organization
noticed
isn't
that as
bad
well.
enough, there are also
thought,
more
I
dangers
hadn't
in the
realised
forms of
myself.
natural obstacles, ancient traps, trials against
It's gone quite
swarming
quick,
dark
actually, so
creatures,
far.
and industrial hazards that must
It
be
has.
dodged, crossed, and avoided. Ultimately, Abe's journey is one of hope, freedom, and truth. There's a rich and engaging narrative to discover in a world full of lies, and we've been able to bring our characters to life like never before. In true Oddworld fashion, your actions in-game will decide the fate of Abe and all those you manage to liberate along the way. And we can't wait to see what you will do.
Right, I've got to admit, from what they've shown there, I'm more interested than I was.
It's an old school game buried in new graphics with impressive visual cutscenes.
Yeah.
You just have to see how it moves on, really. It's very hidden in the good graphics, but gameplay's still the old school, which is good because that's what Oddworld is. So
starting in April.
Free on Plus in April as well. This.
It's time to catch
this
up
looks
with Kena
brilliant.
Bridge of Spirits,
Amazing.
a gorgeous new adventure we last saw in the June PS5 showcase.
Awesome.
This was one of the best things they showed at that June one. Cute little animals that you can make into merchandise.
Ready. Oh, like a stretch toy.
I wouldn't squeeze these ones.
Something tells me you did not come to our village.
We'll give him a squeeze.
Forest creatures.
Hello, Spirit. I seek passage to the sacred mountain shrine.
Yeah, it looks really beautiful, this game.
But that power faded.
Like, again, this doesn't look... It's not hyper-realistic. It's stylized, isn't it? So I think that almost makes it look better.
Yes.
If that looked realistic, I think it would be less impressive.
Yeah. It gives you room for creativity for doing things and effects and focusing on things as well as an artist.
Yeah.
So you can use the performance of the system better.
Trapped spirits.
That's, like I say, it's impressively designed within its world.
Mo's saying it looks very Pixar-esque. I'd say that's pretty accurate. I mean, Christ, look at that bit. That was cool.
It's okay.
I'm not sure how in sync we are video-wise.
I've got my video runs 15 seconds behind yours, so I'm watching yours, but I'm hearing it 15 seconds after you do.
Right.
It's okay. I'm watching yours and keeping up.
This land can be big, but you cannot stay here.
I'll tell you what it reminds me of, actually. It reminds me of Beyond Good and Evil 1.
Yep, there's a part of that style there.
Like, combat-wise, it looks fairly similar. That's horrific.
You know, that kind of reminds me of Princess Mononoke, like the black goo in a way, just the way it all comes together.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at this title that totally doesn't look like Ori and the Blind Forest. August 24th. Okay.
Now let's settle in for a stylish new look at Deathloop, a PS5 first-person shooter developed by the team at Arcane.
Deathloop, I don't know if you've seen anything on this. Something about it just isn't grabbing me.
There's no never here. Just you, me, and the rest of these maniacs.
Bring it, baby.
Let's see.
This is Ramblin' Frank's Matinee. This little ditty goes out to the handsome asshole trying to break our loop. Cold.
Yeah, we've already seen a bit of this. Yeah, it didn't do anything for me at all last time it's been shown.
It was interesting up until the point that they said it was multiplayer based. Like, it's not just multiplayer based, but as soon as I heard that, it kind of put me off a little bit.
Yeah.
They're going for that kind of like James Bond vibe. It's still, I mean, it's probably pretty good. For whatever reason, I just can't get excited about it.
I don't know, put my finger on it. I mean, this is a better looking trailer than what we've seen before. It actually looks much better. In fact.
Yeah.
So they've really come a long way. But I don't know what it is about it. Just the art style, it just isn't doing it for me. It isn't capturing me. They're trying a style and they're not hitting it just right. Something about it.
I mean, look at this bit. This bit looks too realistic almost, doesn't it? Mind you, this seems to be, I think it looks like it might be built on a set or something, most of it. It's like the hyper colourful bits might be on a set, and then...
And I think of what it reminds me of now, but my mind's gone blank.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Time Splitters, actually.
Yeah, a bit of that, yeah.
It's done by the guys that did Dishonored, if that's what it reminds you of. It looks like it plays pretty much exactly like that. But
I'm sure it'll be fun. But
more combat
isn't doing
focused.
it for me artistically, and a world that's really engaging me at the moment. Generic run around, shoot people, blow stuff up. It reminds me of a couple like a Ubisoft game or something. I don't know.
Well, that's what it reminds you of.
Can't remember the name of the game.
Where you been hiding? Boy, do I got a bone to pick with you.
I don't think it looks bad.
No.
Like you said, I think this is probably the best trailer they've shown so far.
James Bond music marketing style.
Interestingly, I don't know if you know this. This is a Bethesda game.
Song's over, people.
And you know, Microsoft are in the process of obviously owning them. But they've promised to keep this exclusive to PlayStation, like they were in the first place.
Oh. That shows the faith they have in this.
Yeah, guess so.
Before we leave, how about a huge update for one of 2020's most celebrated games?
Before we leave, so this is the last one. FF7 is getting an update, or are they just going to make us pay for it again?
Quickly! Barrett! Give me a break!
Jesse! Barrett!
Where you been?
Tifa! Help me!
This was excellent, by the way. I don't know if you managed to have a go on it.
No.
It's really, really good.
Now it's my turn!
So it's getting a 60 FPS update. Is it free?
Touching reunion.
Well, guys, your girl finally made it to Midgar.
Wait, what? That's Yuffie, isn't it?
My name is Yuffie, Materia Hunter and Elite Special Forces operative for the new Wutai government.
The hell?
To our common enemy, that Wutai is not to be trifled with. Members of Avalanche, we got this.
I'm back.
Ah, there you are. Someone's been expecting you.
What took you?
Sorry about that. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. I'm Sonan Kusakabe. Where's Clown?
We lost him.
Is this DLC?
He will be okay though, right?
Well, of course he will.
They're the ones who blew up the reactors.
Cool. Should we say hi?
No, better not. After
Yuffie
what
looks
they've
cool.
done, you gotta assume Shinra's on their tail.
Look, a Moogle!
Stop!
We gotta help.
Yeah, this must be a DLC of some kind.
Frame rate is helping it no end, actually.
Oh,
It's a little bit rough, so...
It was, this looks incredible at 60. I have to say though, it was solid on the PS4. It was solid 30. It very rarely dropped. But yeah, again, 60 is going to help this game to no end.
Did you have it on the PS4, PS4 Pro?
Pro.
Pro.
You guys should probably get moving.
Got it.
Whatever it is they're planning, you're better off out of it.
Her new design is so well done.
Yeah, they do, but I'm not your sister.
There you are.
Who are these jerks?
No clue. It just appeared.
Intergrade? The fuck does that mean?
Let the hunt begin.
That guy looked like an anime protagonist.
Yeah.
Get down here, Merc.
Right. Well, there you have it.
Are they just going to make us pay for the whole game again, though? Graphics on PlayStation 5? Yes. I mean, there was graphics on PS4. Graphics.
On PlayStation 5. Oh, there you go. Showing you the difference now.
It's...
With lighting and frame rate.
It's kind of hard to see as it stands with this.
On the grainy stream, you can tell the difference.
Like, the frame rate looks great, but apart from that...
More power. More graphics.
You should do the voiceover for these trailers.
Bigger swords.
Oh, fog!
Textures.
You've been waiting all stream to do that, haven't you? Oh, is this using ray tracing? Perhaps. Oh, if they make you pay for this again, it's gonna be super bullshit. Quality of life changes. Okay, so they've got to prioritize graphics and prioritize frame rate mode. Load times. Okay, load times are basically gone. Did they not? Wait, did they not have a photo mode in the last game? Sketch, how you doing, man? There was a throwback to Dirge of Cerberus. I haven't played it.
Wait, what?
I didn't notice it. Yes, it said an episode for Yuffie, so stands to reason that's some kind of DLC.
That's how ninjas do it.
Yep.
If you own a copy of the PS4 version, you upgrade to the PS5 version for free. Carry over your save data. New episode featuring Yuffie available for purchase after upgrading to the PS5 version. And that's out on the... Is that 10th of the 6th? So that's
that was the
June?
reveal of Final Fantasy VII Remake
all right, then, for
Intergrade,
DLC
coming to the
then,
PS5
so-
console later this year.
How much DLC is,
And that's our
I'm sure it
show.
won't be
We hope you're as
too
excited
much.
as
They haven't
we
been
are for
priced.
what's to come in 2021.
Hopefully
See you
about
next time.
10-15 quid.
I expect so.
Well, that was short and sweet.
Hmm.
Pretty alright though.
Yeah.
Actually. Like they
I
showed off some good stuff. That like more like stuff that we hadn't really seen much of.
Yeah, I suppose there's a part of me that wanted a trailer for something we hadn't seen that was just going to be even a glimpse of something to make us go, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say that the Final Fantasy one kind of did that for me because that was new. But I get what you're saying. Like something totally new would have.
I always
would have
like
been
that.
nice.
It was like a little sneak peek. And there's one more thing we haven't shown you. We want to
Yeah.
tonight.
I
You
like
know, it's
that.
like Reggie getting something out of his blazer pocket and saying, "I've got something in my pocket." You know, and it's just nice to have that thing on stage. That you know, something's new, and we're like, "Oh, excited! You're going to get this in 2023." Okay.
They don't really do that much anymore, do they? Mind you, we haven't had a proper thing like that for a while.
No.
Like a conference.
Well, I guess E3's kind of changed, isn't it now? I mean, they're talking about E3 this year and what it's going to be. It's like going to be a digital event now for E3, and for Gamescom, it's going to be the same. And from a review perspective now, obviously, rather than having events now, everything's just code. or when they send us videos and we sign NDAs to see all the videos now, they have your name actually all over the video, bouncing around on the screen, and all that kind of stuff now. It's funny, all the different digital restrictions that have coming over the past year. So a lot of this development as well takes years. I mean, people don't realize that 4, 5, 6 years. I mean, it's enormous development. First party development, we're really going to see it coming in next year. Third party will start in 2023 in terms of seeing that coming through for the new consoles.
Yeah.
But it shows that this is going to be a long curve. So it's a slow start, but you'll start to see the proper PS5 games and Xbox Series X games in the next sort of couple of years, and it will, use the tech more and more and more as they leave behind the previous gen. But it's that crossover period. We're not there yet because they can't seem to manufacture enough consoles. I think
that is partially the issue. I think obviously there's loads of people just hoarding them as well. I have to wonder how many people are actually buying them at the current price they are. But I think a lot of games have been delayed as a result of there being so few consoles. Because there's meant to be loads of games that were meant to be out by now, but have been delayed for seemingly, whatever kind of reason. Like Far Cry 6 should have been out by now, I think, for example. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's no point. I mean, there's people obviously with 50 PlayStations in their garage trying to sell them for £1,000 a pop, and that seem to have a computer that can buy anything whenever. And I haven't managed to get a PlayStation 5 yet. I mean, I've been trying to keep up. Every time I get somewhere, I get one in my basket, the website crashes, and you're like, damn. So it's really frustrating because I've had some few PS5 games to try out and just, never get the chance. But no machine. But and we had obviously, like I was mentioning earlier, the Gran Turismo delay till next year. It doesn't surprise me. Gran Turismos have always been delayed anyway. Classically, say always from Gran Turismo 2000 onwards, there's been delay after delay after delay on everything there. And then they're talking about PSVR. I can't see that coming anytime before 2024, honestly. I mean, I'd be surprised if it's before then.
2022, didn't they?
2022, they're talking about for Gran Turismo. It sounds to me like they want to launch VR with Gran Turismo even.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that PlayStation VR, the PlayStation 4 just wasn't powerful enough to do VR justice. And when you look at PC VR now, you look at something like Flight Sim or something like that in VR, you really start to see the full immersion of VR now. Now they're getting resolution and wireless options and stuff like that. And I think with Gran Turismo, you could only have one-on-one race.
Yeah, I saw that.
So now what we're going to have is full online racing with 20, 30 cars, whatever they have, great graphics. I would still like the option though of being able to buy 2 PS5s to power each eye. Then I could have real graphics.
Off. Come on, we get an even bigger shortage.
But that isn't going to happen anytime. The reason why I say that is I was looking through my old photos earlier and I saw a version of Gran Turismo 3 that used 3 PS2s to power it. And back then, that's how you powered triple screens. You had to have multiple. Same with the Xbox 360 on.
I think I remember something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had 3 360s, you could plug them together and Forza have triple screen display.
It was just one of those features they added that like maybe 20 people used.
It was at the time, but I tell you, a lot more people would use it now because a lot of people have got them. But it's always going to be niche, isn't it? I just like the option that's there. I feel that there's an ambition in the games industry, a bit like when we had arcade machines that were as big as a house. And you don't see the arcade machines anymore that you used to see. Obviously, there's not that ambition. I love a bit of ambition, even if it's a bit silly.
No one's going to spend 50 grand on an arcade machine.
No. And it's the same with the consoles. All right, you've got to buy 3 PS5s, but then you can have triple screen immersion or power both your eyes with ultimate power.
Please don't give them that idea. Please don't.
VR immersion. No, well, I look forward to it. I think they're holding a lot back for E3 in the summer. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of logistical issues with COVID and development, stuff like that. So I look forward to seeing how it all comes together, really.
I'm sure I read the other day that because Sketch just mentioned that E3 is probably not going to happen, just the same as last year, probably. I would agree with that normally, but I think I've heard that they're going for more of a traditional kind of E3 event this time. Because it was, I mean, understandably, I think last year's events were pretty poor for the most part. I don't know if you felt the same, but
yeah, understand it right now. It's going to be a digital event in terms of the show itself, and then obviously you might have the full conferences on stage. Obviously, very little in the way of audience there, next to no audience.
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. It'll be more like that, and a bit more. Obviously, they know that COVID is still a thing, so they've got a bit more time to kind of prepare for that kind of event.
Yeah. And then where journalists are concerned, as I say, it'll just be digital. Digital options, and we might have a few demos available and stuff like that. So, what do I think we're going to see? Well, I spoke to a few developers who I was quite lucky to see the dev kits quite a long time ago now, and talk to developers about process. There's still a good couple. Third-party developers are still a good couple of years away from releasing their games. I mean, there's a lot to be done. I mean, some are going to release next year, but there's a lot of work to do to maximize everything and release it across all formats as well. It's a bit messy as well on the Xbox because you've got the Series X and the Series S. And it's definitely going to create some issues there, no doubt, in terms of. I'm just a bit worried that it's going to hold back the generation.
You know what? I was thinking that. But judging from all the Digital Foundry stuff that I've seen, it seems like they're taking the right option with that kind of stuff. Like they're cutting out 60 FPS modes if they need to, or they're just dropping the resolution right down if they need to. Because the main issue was in the previous gen was the CPU, wasn't it? And I think the CPU is, I think it's even in both of those. I think it's just the GPU that's different. But like you say, going forward, it might be more of an issue. But at the moment, at least, it seems like it's pretty fine.
Well, on the backward compatibility episode recently, they were looking at a sniper game that performed better on the Xbox Series X in 4K than the Series S in 1080p. It just couldn't do it as well. And I just thought to myself, if the Series S is already reaching limitations, it's only been out for 3 months, then that's something that I hope doesn't hold back the generation. It's just, I feel this generation, the Xbox One wasn't what it should have been. It's been a bit of a ball and chain for the generation, really, for third-party publishers. But no, not really. Other than that, though, I'd like to see some old games coming back. I mean, in terms of brands, there's so many old brands on the PlayStation. I'd love to see return.
Yeah.
And I think if they did VR, I'd love to see a Colony Wars.
Oh God, don't, because that's the one game that I will probably buy a full VR setup just to play. If they did that. But let's face it, they wouldn't be able to get the same team together to make it feel the same. I don't think.
Do you know? I don't know. I just always remember the intros with James Earl Jones. When I was young and they came to my world, and I just remember just loving it. I played through the whole game. And of course, the thing about it was it had multiple routes through the game, depending on if you won or lost battles. We won that battle.
Well, that was what's so cool about it, because you could get into a situation where you're buggered and you're going to get a bad ending, but you've still got another mission to do or two.
Well, things could get really desperate, and you could maybe hang on and get back onto a winning streak again. And I really like the way you felt desperate at times on Colony Wars. And I'm amazed at the ambition again that was done on a PlayStation 1.
It still looks pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot you can do with space effects, and you're not rendering a background and all that kind of stuff. So they could do a lot there. So I would love to see Colony Wars. G Police, I think, was another game that was ambitious beyond its time.
Future Cop.
For me, a game I've always wanted to see. Actually, probably EA are the only people that can do it. Is Magic Carpet. I was a big fan of Magic Carpet years ago.
Dude, that is truly dead and buried. That'd be a cool
shame.
VR game as well, actually, I think.
Oh, it was ahead of its time. Environments that you could, deformable, everything else. I mean, it was a real, Bullfrog really were, forging new ideas there. I loved all that.
Yeah.
And then other than that, you've got Sega, who have a vault of goodness that I just want them to prise open.
I mean, I'm obviously super biased here, but I feel like they've, for the most part, been handling their back cap fairly well recently. Like, they haven't necessarily been doing it themselves, but they've been giving it to the right people. The only one that seems a little bit it hasn't been done quite as well was the Panzer Dragoon remake. I haven't played it yet, but I heard mixed things from the fan base on it.
Yeah.
And I know you...
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. I think for me, straight away, I just see the artistic... they got the art style wrong. Just from the very off, you can see it's garish and over-colourful and doesn't capture the sort of palette and art style in the right way. Panzer Dragoon is one of those games that was magical on the the first one was impressive when it was released in Japan. It really was. It had a short time where it impressed us. The frame rate was a bit choppy.
It's a bit dodgy.
There was a lot of pop up in it, but the idea was there. And when we first saw it in, what was it, late '94, early '95, it was like magical stuff. But then really Panzer Dragoon's vibe really was like, wow, this game blew my socks off. And I just played that game over and over and over. And then you played Porta recently on the Xbox, which still looks pretty good. 60 FPS.
I still need to finish it, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to play that through on the stream, and I'm going to probably do a one stream sort of game on it, I think. But god damn, it's hard. I did it on normal and it kicked my arse.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's really hard. I can't even remember if I even completed it. I just remember it being really tough, and I played a lot of Panzer Dragoon and got really frustrated. But I do remember it gets tough. Think about games. What's another one that reminds me of? It reminded me a bit of a Mega Boost, which was a similar type of gameplay on the PlayStation.
That keeps getting brought up with us too recently, doesn't it? Mega Boost.
Well, it does. And if you don't know it, for those of you watching, Mega Boost was released by, again, Polyphony, who made Gran Turismo, and it's a robot game flying around just like Panzer Dragoon, shooting everything, lock on, all that kind of stuff. Starts off okay, not too difficult, but my goodness me, does it gets Armored Core difficult.
I think that's like one of the best looking PS1 games that ever came out. There's something about I seem to remember there being a lot of like really good effects in there.
A lot of
particle
lighting.
Effects.
Yeah, particles, lighting. As you get into the game, it gets better and better as it goes on. It's very ambitious. You end up flying down tunnels and cool music. But yeah, it's again, it's Polyphony. Technology. What they developed. Motor2 Grand Prix. And of course then you had obviously Ridge Racer 4, which looked stunning, and Metal Gear, which really pushed the hardware. But
Metal Gear looks great.
But I think in terms of old games, what have we had recently? We had Destruction All Stars. Did you play Destruction All Stars?
No, I don't have Plus, so yeah. It doesn't. It looked quite fun, but it'd be like one of those games that I'd probably play for a week and then I'd never touch it ever again. They're making that. Do you see that it's gonna be $20 when it comes out Plus?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So if I don't get a PlayStation in time, I'm gonna have to pay $20. Oh well.
I mean, you could pay for like a month of Plus just to download it, and then it's there.
Oh, I've got Plus. It's just that I don't have a PS5.
I think you can, if you download it, go to the PlayStation Store on your browser on the PC, and I think you can just download them and add them to your back cat.
Oh, I'll do that then. Right. Thank you, Tom.
I think so. Anyway.
I'll do that because I won't be buying it. Because I know that I'll play it. I'll go, yay, crash into somebody, they crash into me. I mean, everybody was talking about it for about a week because there was nothing else to talk about, and then nobody was talking about it anymore. So
actually, should we have a look and see how many people are streaming it right now? What would you give that little conference though? That state of play out of 5, what would you give it?
This is where between 3 and 4 out of 5. I feel it's a very safe
pretty good then.
conference. It was a good, safe conference. It wasn't bad, was it? All the games looked nice. Nothing looked terrible there, and it was very safe. They played it safe, so I won't criticise them for that. I would have liked a little bit of a teaser of something, a talking point. There's no talking point for me. If you like Final Fantasy, great. Crash Bandicoot, Oddworld, but we've already been over all that. I don't So like when you saw it last year, you're like, oh wow, okay, yeah, we've been over that. We need new stuff. So
I think it was pretty good actually. It was actually better and more interesting than I was expecting, because I was kind of expecting like Horizon and God of War, and as much as I'm looking forward to playing those games, they're like a known quantity. So I'm less interested to see news on them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas the stuff they showed today, I feel was kind of a bit more out of left field, a bit more interesting. But at the same time, it's not like a full conference. It's just kind of like the Nintendo Direct kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the Nintendo Direct was the same the other day. I mean, it was fun enough. I can't help but feel that though I love my Switch, surprisingly, I play a lot of retro games on my Switch. I wish Nintendo had a real powerhouse system as well, so they could really, because it's
that might be coming.
Might be.
Yeah, it might be coming. We don't know. The thing is, they're never going to get a system that's that strong. I suppose it's always going to be behind if it's a handheld. But if you could get it at the handheld running at 1080 60 potentially, that'd be amazing. You don't need it to be any higher than that for that size screen.
I mean, Nintendo's got their own market. I would just love to see Nintendo being given the power of Xbox Series X and seeing what they could do with that in a way, because don't forget, Nintendo back in the 80s and 90s were the power company. Even N64, the Project Reality, was meant to be technology to end all. And then because obviously GameCube didn't do very well, sadly, which was a great piece of kit, they went down a different route. And they can just make a game, print Pokemon on it, and it sells millions of copies. So it doesn't really matter what the power is of the machine, as long as it's profitable for them. But the gamer in me would really like to see what they could do with maximum tech.
I don't think a lot of their games would actually look different, because they're highly stylized. Stuff like Mario and Zelda and things. Zelda maybe, but Mario, I feel like you played Odyssey, didn't you?
I haven't yet. No, it's still there. Recently, I'm still saving it for stream.
When you get to it, you'll probably find that you'll play it and you'll think, oh, this hasn't been kneecapped by the power of this machine. It still looks amazing. I think they're really good at getting the maximum out of what they're given. But because of the style,
we can but wonder what they could do if they had the power. I mean, if you think about Pikmin or something, with like 50 million billion Pikmin wandering around, or the lighting and the design. Imagine F-Zero with ultimate power. I would love a new F-Zero with.
Oh, God, don't
power.
Stop it! Stop giving me hope for things that are never going to happen.
If I had the choice, yes, I would love to see, if they had ultimate power, I'd love to see F-Zero, Star Fox, and Pilot Wings, and I would like to see Blast Corps.
Oh shit!
Actually, I think
do you reckon that's completely owned by Rare, isn't it? I think it is.
Good call. Yeah, I think it is.
Because I think it's on the. I haven't got it to hand, but it's on the Rare Replay box set, I think. But Microsoft seems to be pretty friendly with Nintendo on stuff like that, so it's not it could happen still.
It's a great game in its own way. It was a real good idea, and I'd love to see an idea with modern graphics, what they could do, graphics returning like that. But Star Fox is like Star Fox. The problem with Star Fox is it needs a reset, because I felt that for me, I really like the SNES original, the style and design.
The two first games, the N64 and the SNES one, I feel are really good. Star Fox 2 is really good, actually. If you haven't played that, I enjoyed that.
Yep, I think that retained a fair bit of the original style to it.
Yeah.
And I've not finished it yet, so I've got to play it more. But I think that the ambition was, again, 3D flying around ambition. It really pushed the tech. But I like the first game in particular. It was the music, you really felt like you were on an adventure in a film, and you're flying inside big hulking spaceships and blowing them up. And whereas the second one didn't feel like a film, it felt more like a kid's cartoon. Well, I say second one, sorry, N64 felt more kiddish, a kids' cartoon version, and it got more and more down that style as it went on to being a more children's thing rather than a Star Wars, if you like, space.
I will stand by this statement every time, but I think Corneria is one of the best sounding pieces of music from that era. That first level of Star Fox on the SNES.
It's a good piece. What do I like? I like the spaceships on level. Dun, 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 dun. Is there sort of music like that one?
Yeah, I think I know which one you mean. I don't know which level it's from.
That's from level 3, the spaceships, and you have the asteroids level 2. That's got some pretty good music to it. There's some good stuff in there. It's adrenaline pumping. You feel like you're in a battle and you're flying around and shooting stuff up. You're feeling like a badass. That's what games need to do. They make you feel like you're in a movie and it's badass.
I think there's one slight issue with wanting Star Fox like it was, though, is that I don't think a lot of people would. I'm doing inverted comments here. Would put up with the fact that the game was so short. Even if it's replayable, I think that would be a problem to most people.
Sad, isn't it? I mean, people want a long game that goes on forever and ever and ever now. And I always think that if you said to me what are my top 10 favourite games, I'd probably say most of them could be completed within hours.
Yeah.
I just went back to them again and again and again. And I went, now play on hard mode. Okay, then. And I just played them again and again. And I think it's marketing, unfortunately. It's now got this game length thing. And what you do is you get one person moaning about it on Twitter, and they build a little army of moaners. And I just think, no, you can't have artistic vision controlled by people in that way. I think if you make an incredible, detailed, quality adventure, and that would suffice well, as long as it's got longevity and rescore value to it. It's, for example, if there's different routes you can unlock or different craft you can go through the game with, you don't start off with your badass craft. You're stuck on a planet, you've got a craft that's not that good, and you're going to have to fly with it. Perhaps you have to build parts or trade parts to make your craft better. Perhaps you've got to fight your way to Corneria to get your craft. And then when you get to Corneria, then you become a badass, and then you attack them. I like the idea of changing the storyline. See, where did that even come from? That just popped into my head.
I think what might work, actually, I don't know if you ever played it. I think there's a few people I know in the chat that have played it. There was Everspace. Have you seen that?
Yes, I interviewed somebody with Everspace, actually, really nice, but I didn't get to play it. I saw it a lot at EGX, and I thought, wow, that looks great at EGX Rest.
It's fun, and I think actually you could make Star Fox into that, where it's like a procedurally generated roguelike almost, but maybe have it so it's got key story points, or like certain bosses or something, or like a multitude of bosses you could fight, but with ultimately like an endpoint that you could get to. Make it replayable like that. I think that could work.
Difficult. The problem is you've got to think of it like Panzer Dragoon. Panzer Dragoon has very much set pieces. Those set pieces are wonderful to encounter. I always think Panzer Dragoon's Vi, you're on level 5, you're on this sort of like level with all these sort of lights, like snow coming down or something. And halfway through the level, there's this big craft that goes across the sky. And it's a wonderful moment. The music comes in. It's a moment you just want to enjoy, like a film, but interactive. I think you need those moments in there. The game recently, Red Out something or other that was released recently, and I've got to play that as well because I like the original Red Out game. And that was a craft Star Fox style shooting game. But if you really got to have...
That's been delayed, isn't it?
No, it's out now. It's out now, I think, on Steam. But it's had
is it like a muted launch. Early access? Is it?
No, it came out on like mobile or something like that, and then it came out on Steam a little while ago. It was really weird, sort of muted launch.
I thought I read something about that being delayed partially, but
maybe on consoles. But no, I just feel that you need this sort of, when you're building something like an adventure game, you need it's got to be linear but not feel linear. You want to drive people down a journey and give them decisions where they can make linear paths, but at the same time make them feel like that they've got the opening to do what they want to do. And I think that the problem with Star Fox is it was made in the UK by Argonaut, and Nintendo took it on and they put their stamp on it and they changed it. They did a good job with it. It was a different game. I wasn't
up to a point. Yeah, I mean, I really liked Star Fox 64. I kind of like Star Fox Adventures, which was the RPG one, but it's not a Star Fox game by any stretch.
Oh.
Never played the GameCube one, Assault. But I heard that wasn't great either.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
It's incredibly rare now as well.
Sadly, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I just didn't buy games that people said were rubbish. But what I've realised in life is that buy the rubbish games as long as they're part of a big brand. The rubbish ones. So then, if people buy a series of games, so if there was a bad Pokemon game that nobody bought, that's the one you wanted to have bought because that's the one that all the Pokemon fans would want. Collectors, not because they want to play the game. I just bought the games I wanted to play. So,
back then,
it
was always harder to buy games back then, I think, wasn't it as well? It just felt harder to buy games around that sort of time.
Yeah, I don't know. We had more time. There wasn't so many releases, and we had more time to play them. And I would say our eyes were always looking at Japan. I was always on what's happening in Japan. So my eyes was always on coming out in Japan now. What can I see at the import store? What merchandise and bits and bobs can I get hold of? And I've got two GameCubes. Say, for example, one that's switchable Japanese and the US, and then one UK. Same with every console. I've got 3 Saturns, 2 Dreamcasts, so on.
3 Saturns.
I know. Well, every console. I've got 2 Xboxes as well. Why 2 Xbox Ones? Because I've got one original Xbox that connected online to Xbox Live, and I've got another one that had a new hard drive that had additional superpowers.
Say no more.
I'll say no more. And so then I had again little things, like I've got the Mega Drive and the Mega CD, but I've got a Switch Nomad, for example. So my Nomad, when you plug it in, you could use 50-60 hertz, but also you could switch because the Japanese versions of games were on the UK cartridges. You could actually play so I could put in Streets of Rage 2 and play Bare Knuckle. So little things. I was always collecting everything like that. In terms of games, but I don't know. It's what was different back then. I will say this: now you see everything on a video here today. Like you had a half-an-hour video. Years ago, we didn't see the games. It was only in a magazine. You see a picture. You had to imagine what it was like when it was moving, or you might be lucky to see 3 minutes of an event like this,
or like Bad Influence or something.
Bad Influence or movies, games, and videos or something. That weekend, and that'd be it. So it was different in that way. But now you've got it depends how you sell it. Now, I mean, now you've got Sony that sell the games, whereas EA like to get hold of influencers and sell it that way to people.
I do think a lot of the mystery is gone. It's totally gone in games now, isn't it? Like you say, it was always really fun to kind of just imagine and just keep reading over and looking at these screenshots, and that was all you could kind of go off of. And sometimes you get a game which was complete shit but looked good in screenshots, like Rise of the Robots, for example. But it was always so exciting, to see new games come out but not actually know what they were like.
Rise of the Robots. Okay, so Rise of the Robots, the first clips we saw of Rise of the Robots was the 3D that you've all seen. We thought that was the game. They were saying that was the gameplay, and we kind of believed it. And I don't know why we kind of believed it. It's hard to imagine, but technology was advancing at such a rate back then, it didn't seem impossible. So we saw 3D footage of Donkey Kong Country, the actual 3D models, not the rendered that you see in the game. And they were saying, this is going to be in the game. So we're like, wow, how's the Super Nintendo doing silicon graphics? But, it
was nowhere near.
But, for some reason back then, I don't know why, but we were really easy to con because technology was moving into completely unknown areas for us. We didn't understand any of this stuff really in the same way we do today. I mean, now we know about ray tracing and lighting, and we can see where the improvements will come and textures and all that. It wasn't the same. So, we were easily conned. But then when you saw a screenshot, I mean, just imagine seeing this conference today. You'd see a picture of Final Fantasy, and you'd be hearing about these new modes and this new character, and you'd be thinking, wow, I wonder what that character's like. I wonder what abilities they've got. I want to run down that street and see what's around the corner. You would see stuff that you want. Now, you'll watch a playthrough before you... And in a way, watching somebody playing a game, sometimes it's like you're playing it yourself. You're getting experience on that game.
I think that's down to the individual, though, isn't it? Like, I find some games I'm quite happy to watch. I'm not bothered about playing. The horror games, for example. I quite like watching people play through those because I like watching people shit their pants. But I'm not bothered if I don't play those myself. But then other games, there's a lot of times I've had to dip out of a lot of people's streams because I don't want to see spoilers for a certain game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really comes down to the person. At the end of the
Yeah,
day.
I like watching adventures and, like you say, a bit of horror gaming. If I can't handle it, it's good to watch somebody else, like you say, shit their pants a bit. I like to watch people who are badass at video games. I like to see some badassery. I appreciate the badassery. So, and I know the practice that goes into it. So I love seeing a bit of that. And what do I watch? A bit of, again, it varies on the games really. Not so much FPS. I tend to watch sort of 2D games, old school arcade.
I don't anymore really.
I find that I feel like I've done it all. I've shot people with no scopes. There's only so many no scopes you can see over 20 years where you say, do you know what? That's enough no scoping for me. So.
Well, we might be doing that in November if Halo comes out on time.
Yes, and I've spoken to Stu. And
is he back on board?
He's back. So we've had a chat. He's been on my stream, and we've had a good chat about that. So he's back for Halo, and I'm going to see if I can get hold of Nathan.
Christ! I don't think he'd be allowed to talk to us. It's like you're playing an Xbox game with someone that's actively working for PlayStation.
I still think he might be allowed to play it. I mean, I speak to various journalists, and so for those that don't know, Nathan, if you know PlayStation Access, one of the presenters, Nathan, used to play with me and Tom regularly on Halo many years ago, and I was talking about recently. I actually thought it was the best online gaming of my life. I used to look so forward to playing you guys on Halo, and
it was amazing.
It was the best. I would literally get to 11 o'clock at night when we could all get on there. I'd have to whisper because people go to bed now.
So
be quiet. It's like, hi guys, hi, right, yeah, all right. But then what would happen?
That guy's cheating.
There'd be some lag, and you'd be like, oh my god, what fucking lag?
Yeah.
Before you know it, then there would be a chap called John who would literally get so angry.
John wasn't the worst. It was Jim that was the worst.
Jim, yes.
Remember Jim?
Yes, Jim Peckable or something like that.
Jim Peckable, yeah.
He would get so angry with the lag. It was just...
So just for the benefits of people watching, in Halo 2, you could sit in once you finished a game, you could sit in a lobby with your opponents for as long as you want. There was no countdown. So I remember one time Jim Peckable was having a go at these American guys for what must have been about 3 hours, and I remember I just remember sitting there just absolutely like dying with laughter. Yes. Those guys having a go at each other was amazing. I'll never forget that.
Forgot about that because back then there was no private chat system in the same way back then. You just go into a game, you go into a lobby, and you were all forced to talk to each other. So unless you mute the other players, you were all going to talk to each other, and generally we all spoke. It was good because it created more community. It was bad because it was just abuse.
Oh, there was so much abuse.
But there are some people who can give it. Jim and John.
Jim and John were so good at it.
They were just good at twisting people. And the funny thing is, if you're in America, you had a massive advantage on Halo when it came to lag, and there would always be some 10-year-old kid who wanted the sniper rifle as well. You'd have to sort of beat him up, get the sniper rifle and run off. He would then run after you for 5 minutes. You keep shooting him in the head till he gave up. So even if he was on your team,
there was always one arsehole that wanted the sniper rifle, but had the rockets and would actively shoot you. Like they would track you to the point where the sniper rifle was, shoot a rocket to make sure that you got blown up, so you couldn't take it.
I won the sniper rifle.
Oh God. And it was like a team game as well. It's like we're meant to be planting the bomb, you assholes.
And when your team, you fool. You know, I remember I went up to get a sniper rifle once, and this kid he meleeed me, right? And luckily I didn't die. You know when you're within an inch of dying, and you're like, oh, wow. Come back, pulled out my handguns, and just decided that's it. Handgun in the forehead to him, gunned him down. Picked up the sniper rifle, and then for the whole rest of the game, I just kept shooting him. I don't know why. I just got to move.
But this is also before, like, you know, you would get kicked out for like team killing too much as well.
Yes. But you know what? It didn't matter. I killed enough of the enemy as well. It's just that back then, you know, we were pretty good at big team battle, and and it was some people they just. If they just attacked you and they're on your own team, it would just incensed me.
I mean, we took it so seriously.
Yeah.
We got really precious about our ranks, didn't we?
We did, but we were among I think we were actually among the top UK players at the time. And we were into really high level big team battle lobbies where everybody in the end got quite professional about it. And we were still doing the business. It was just the lag prevented us from, and the lag basically meant where they fired 4 bullets into you, we'd need to fire 20 to 30 into them, and it just became eventually impossible. And that's what kind of put us off it in the end. You
forget, Capital Radio said that I am one of the best players in the world. Did the News of the World.
Did they really?
That's actually what they printed in that thing. They said I'm one of the best players in the world, and I'm not. I'm really not. I'm all right. I'm not one of the best in the world.
No, but I will say you were, you know, I'd say as a group, we were a lot better than our stats let on because of the lag problem. I think
we communicated well.
If we had, we were a good team. I think if we had US lag, we would have been right up there with the top teams, no doubt about it. I mean, we had really good teamwork. We had each had our own skills, but that was a day of community, coming together, going online and looking forward to speaking to, you know, idiots online and in your own way,
destroying them.
and destroying them. Yeah, there was a real satisfaction, but it did get personal. So when they beat you, they would give you a load of shit as well, and it got really, really important to win a game, every game.
But you play worse when you're frustrated.
Yeah, and it was just of vital importance, especially when you're the last player alive or something. You're trying to take them down. Yeah. When you're the last player alive and you're taking out the other 3 players, there was a huge you know.
I think I got in trouble quite a few times for shouting too loudly in the middle of the night.
Yes, I did as well. I did, you know, I mean, I tried to be quiet, but there were just times when you couldn't help it. It was like, oh my god, it was.
I mean, we're all older now. I don't think we'll be staying up quite as late as we used to.
No,
probably.
No, I think we're still badassery. No, I don't think. I think we're a bit rusty. I think very rusty.
Maybe a bit slower. But I think we could be all right still.
Know your strengths. We just need a sniper. We need a sniper rifle expert. That was always the thing I was just never very good at. Nathan.
That was Nath, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, he was great with the sniper rifle. So as long as I protected Nathan.
Yeah,
we could win games. And I was good at sneaking. We were both good at sneaking, weren't we? We used to squat.
We were the solid snakes.
The melee people.
Yeah, I loved punching people in the face with a bomb. It was so good. or the flag.
Satisfaction.
So good.
Melee. Well, just when they thought they were going to win, and you were right there, and you're like, bosh.
Nope. I think it'd be really fun now, because I reckon you'll be doing well if you got like really abusive messages sent. They didn't have that either at the time, did they? Like messages, I don't think.
Not. They were bringing it in. But it's strange. You know, it didn't. It was funny. None of it mattered in a way. It was all abuse, but fun abuse. It didn't bother me. It was all.
It was banter, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was banter. Whereas today. It's different now. When you go onto Twitter or you come up against some gamers, it's like really serious now. You know, it quickly gets very angry. You know, whereas I think back then, people give each other a load of, you know, sort of shit, but then they'd move a bit like like the Thor moment in the Avengers, which was really corny, but it was like that. It was really like, you know, just having a go at somebody, and then you move on to the next game and you have a go at the next person or something.
I think I could be really annoying if I wanted to be.
I think you could be, but you know what? We're too nice. We're too nice. Too nice, Tom.
I don't think I'm that nice. Sometimes. I think if it got down to that, I could be really annoying, but I think it'd be more like psychological warfare more than anything.
Psychological warfare, yeah.
Yeah, it'd just be like, oh, okay. No, I'd just be like really chill about things.
Yeah.
But then also
kills now. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, just like, you know, just play on their mind a bit. Like, you did have a good game, but there's a few bits where you were just a bit dodgy, a little bit dodgy. Just be really chill about it, but also kind of take the piss out of them, and just make them like. Then they'll play worse because they'll be, did I really like? Did I not handle the warthog very well there? And then that one lapse in judgment, and I'll get them.
Yeah, I'll need to do some serious practice on Halo again once I get back onto it. But I will. Right now, my game has got to be Gran Turismo, jumping back on that, trying to get back up to speed. I did a Gran Turismo content creators race this weekend, which had a lot of viewers on some channels, and it was bloody difficult. So trying to keep up with these top players, you can't just go onto an online game. You need to really practice on it now.
Yeah.
If you want to do what you can do, it's deeply frustrating. And when you play Halo, it's the same. It's deeply frustrating if you play Halo and you don't do what you know you can do. You get beaten by a noob, and you think, no, I could do better than that. So you've got to practice.
I've got to say, I don't think I'd be very serious about Halo nowadays, as long as I was having fun with it. But I think if you've got a team, you're already like up there, because most people are going to play by themselves, and no one can really carry a team by themselves. So if you've got a full set of 4 or 5 or whatever the amounts are, I think you'll be ahead of the game anyway, just for communication purposes.
Yep.
But yeah, just have fun with it. Don't get serious about it. I'm not going to play it probably too long myself, maybe like a month on and off. And then that's what I did with 5. And 5 was really good actually. But
I think for me, I'm going to play it for fun. I mean, obviously for me, it's not. I mean, Gran Turismo is a bit different because it's what I do with racing. And so as a racing channel, I'm always expected to do quite well. And I know I can. I'm not far off. It's just that unfortunately, that last little bit of skill takes months to master. So, but I'll get back onto that. Gran Turismo's been delayed till next year now, so it's not the most urgent thing.
At least you can practice on this one, and it will be relatively similar, won't it, to the new one?
Yeah, exactly. Get back into the flow. Streaming's great because you can talk to all of your viewers, and they can see you fail and succeed at the same time. And it's nice to build a community as well. For me, it's been streaming over these past. I've only been streaming. For those of you watching, I've only been streaming for about 4 months properly now, and I've really enjoyed it. But it does take time to build followers and to get to know people. And sometimes you have ups and downs, and you have streams that are really popular and loads of people watch, and streams that are not so popular, and you have good periods and bad periods in a stream as well. You can, the first hour you could have X amount of people watching. Second hour, nobody. Third hour, everybody comes back again. You get a good raid or something. So,
do you have your viewer numbers up?
Do I have my viewer numbers up?
Like on the can you see them when you're streaming?
Well, I can see the viewer numbers. For me, some days it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah.
Some days it does. I think this last week it did a bit because it's you change games.
Yeah.
And all the players that were watching me play WRC left when I moved to Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Or when I played retro games. It's very hard getting your sort of regular fans that like to see you play every type of game, and you miss those people when you play a different game. You're like, oh, it's a shame I don't have all those people.
I would really say that unless it's helpful for you in some way, I would turn that off.
Yeah.
Because it's otherwise just detrimental. Because you will think about it in some way or another. Ever since I turned it off, I felt way better about streaming, and I turned it off pretty early on as a result.
Yeah, it's sometimes I like to just check because of just data, check everything's working and the stream's working. But sometimes it can get you down. I think with streaming, you've just got to enjoy what you're doing with the gaming. Like tonight, we're having a good chat. We've watched the stream. It's been good fun to talk about it live and share ideas as well. What games come to mind when we watch it.
Thank you for suggesting it. It was a good suggestion.
Yeah, it was. I think it's nice to sort of share that passion for it. And for those of you watching as well, big thank you to everybody watching tonight. And like you say, if you have any questions, always feel free to pop those into me as well. And it's Tom's channel, so I don't like to.
I'm gonna give you another shout out because you do deserve more viewers.
Oh, thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And, I really appreciate being a part of it as well. And we just had a new follower actually. So
there you go.
John Zotori is here.
Oh, that's one of my best friends in real life.
Oh, brilliant. Well, Jonzo, thank you very much for the follow. Really appreciate that.
He is probably he knows the most about retro games. Like the most. He knows so much.
Brilliant.
Oh, he's just saying hello now in the chat.
Jonzo. I mean, obviously you've kind of seen my room, Tom. If people could see my collection, there's stuff that Jonzo would probably love.
Oh, John's is vast, but yours is expensive.
Yes, I've got a very carefully curated collection, haven't I?
Yeah.
That's the thing. You were very much the collector of all Dreamcast. I've got to have every Dreamcast ever made. Whereas I'm the sort of person that would say, no, I don't want those sports titles. They didn't interest me in the slightest.
I don't want them, but I just wanted a complete collection of something. And I felt like Sega's Swan Song was probably it was the cheapest one to do by far.
Yeah.
Not nowadays necessarily, but back then it was really cheap.
A lot of my Dreamcast games on the cheap because they sold them all off cheap around 2000 and 2001.
Yeah.
And suddenly all the games went from £50 down to about £5-10. And so I thought, right, I'm going to buy them all. So I bought loads of Dreamcast games at the time.
I tell you what, my best ever pickup though was Alien Soldier, which I picked up for $12.99 from GameStation, and is now worth about £300.
Bargain.
John's got some similar stories to that though. He picked up a load of like Neo Geo AES stuff from GameStation for like pennies, which is now worth like thousands.
Yes, I'm sort of like that with the Neo Geo stuff. So my Neo Geo, so I've got 30 Neo Geo AES games, and they've gone up enormously in value now. But the first Neo Geo AES game I bought was Alpha Mission 2. And it was £15 down from 120 in '94, and they had the first big Neo Geo sale when the PlayStation came out in Japan, and you had games that were £150 Samurai Showdown down to £20-25. Just didn't have enough money. But I've got two Neo Geos. I've got a US one and a Japanese one. I've got the US one so that I could understand the games. I've got the Japanese one for Red Blood. I literally wanted to have red blood in my games rather than the green blood in Samurai Showdown. Just so geeky. Sengoku, yes. Sengoku, AES, £40.
You got it £40.
I mean, these games were worth £280 at the time when they were new. So, I mean, it's crazy in terms of the prices.
Just having a look at Alpha Mission now. £280 for Alpha Mission 2?
Well, I'll tell you a few of my valuable ones then. Last Resort. If Last Resort is there. Last Resort.
How much did you pay for that one?
I paid about £45, something like that. 45.
Is this
maybe.
AES?
Yeah.
£200?
Maybe.
Last one sold for £200 in January.
Yeah, £200. Where's the? Oh, right, is it?
Oh, hang on a minute.
No, that's MBS.
It's going to depend on.
CD.
It's going to depend on the version because there's a.
I don't know really. I mean, I've got just to go through. I've got like Ninja Commando, Aero Fighters 2. That could be rare. Don't know. Ganryu. There's only 70 odd of those that were made apparently. Ganryu. That's boxed as new.
Japanese Last Resort is worth way more than US or PAL by the looks of it.
strange, isn't it? How the Japanese ones, they were worth more at the time, I remember.
You'd think it'd be the other way around, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd think so. But they were worth a bit in Japan.
They'd be more readily available.
I haven't checked the Japanese ones. I've got a couple of Japanese ones. I've got a couple of like cross swords.
It's like half the price for the
AES one.
The AES one.
Yeah. Which is weird, but I like the AES ones. I've got most of the AES ones. I don't know why I like the UK ones. Sorry, it's the UK ones. I just like the uniformity. I like the uniformity of the packaging at the time. I know it's geeky to say it, but I did. I like the uniformity on the shelf.
Oh no, I'm the same, dude.
Yeah, I love a bit of that.
John's saying if it says NCI release, it's a deluxe bootleg.
Oh no, these are all.
This looks legit though. This one, this £200 one.
These are all. These are all at the time.
Like, is that what it looks like? For conversion, could have been converted MVS one, I suppose.
What have we got here? So here's one I've not even checked actually. Ganryu, Ganryu. Don't know what that's worth, but that's literally brand new. I played it a little bit. Didn't have much. That came at a time quite late. And that one's a limited edition. It's actually got a number somewhere, number 56.
Oh, nice.
So it's actually numbered on the actual cart. Don't even know where I got these from. I don't remember now.
It's kind of nice stumbling across stuff you forgot you had.
Oh well, I like you say, so much going on in your life. I was buying so many games, I was playing so many games. That era, the whole 90s. I used to have a blow-up chair with my 29-inch TV. I had to squeeze into my blow-up chair. It's like a blue blow-up chair.
I can't imagine you in a blow-up chair.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was a blue see-through blow-up chair, and I got this in my room. It made a lot of noise when you got on it, obviously. And I was just sit there playing my games on Neo Geo and the Sega Saturn.
That mental image is like dangerously 90s.
Dangerously 90s. And I just loved it. And I had this massive 29-inch TV in front of me, which at that time was a massive TV to have in the room. And I just loved it. So yeah, what have I got here on the AES? You say Ninja Commando, Air Fighter 2, Last Resort, Top Hunter, Ganryu, Viewpoint, Spin Master, Carnal's Revenge. Then I've got a few of the Fatal Fury, Fatal Fury 2, Fatal Fury Special, Art of Fighting 2, Samurai Showdown 1. I've got another Samurai Showdown 1, Samurai Showdown 2, Mutation Nation, Super Psychics 2, Soccer Ball, World Heroes 2, World Heroes 2 Jet.
It's a decent collection.
King of Monsters 2, 8-Man, Cross Swords, some random baseball game I can't quite see from here, Cyberlip, Ghost Pilots, Magician Lord.
Baseball Stars, is it?
Something else. I can't read from here because it's in Japanese. Hang on, let me just see what this is. Hold on.
John's saying any fighters. Yeah, he's got, was it Fatal Furies he had?
Oh.
Oh, you were joking. Okay. I can't, John, I can't tell sarcasm through text.
The last one is Sengoku 2 on Japanese. So any fighters? No, actually, do you know the funny thing is that I found that they were all too expensive, and I did get King of Fighters 98 when it came out for a while, but then I sold it because I made a bit of profit on it very quickly at the time. I have an MBS collection as well, so I've got another 30 MBS carts, and that's where I got like Goro, Mark of the Wolves, and King of Fighters, and all that kind of stuff on MBS. And same with, I've got Metal Slug and Polestar and Blazing Star carts as well.
I'm going to have to bring you two together at some point. I think actually, Alan, I think you met John at that arcade thing we went to the other year.
Oh right, yeah. The what was it?
Play Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have met him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to bring you two together at some point to have a chat over a pint or something. We could chat for hours, I think.
Oh, love all this. And these games I bought, but I played them. I mean, Samurai Showdown 2, when I first saw that in the arcade, it really blew me away. I thought it was just the most stunning game. I really liked Samurai Showdown 2 at the time. You know, it's funny, some of these games, like Alpha Mission 2, tremendous shoot 'em up. 8-Man is not a game that people really know that well. Loved 8-Man. I got it on AES, and then I went to the arcade and I showed how it was done. And when you used to go to the arcade back then, when you got further into the game, you tend to get a big crowd.
Yeah.
And there are a few games I played where I'd get like a crowd of, whether it was 10 or 15 people standing around, but everyone was like, "Wow, what's going on? What's going on?" You'd be getting to sort of the levels no one's ever seen before, feeling
like a badass. Yeah.
I kind of felt like a bit of fraud because I had the game at home and nobody knew. But
that doesn't matter. They don't need to know.
No, absolutely. I just, you complete the game and you're like, yeah. One other thing as well, Neo Geo fans. Everyone who owns a Neo Geo should be able to one credit at least one game. It was just a rule. So you've got to pick your game and just one credit that. Work on it until you can do it.
I don't think I could do that on any game, to be honest.
Ah, you could.
The only game I got close to was Time Crisis 2 in the arcades.
Yeah.
I could nearly one credit that.
Yeah.
But it was like I can only do it like once. Like I may have done it once, maybe.
I one credited Alpha Mission 2, so I could do that without dying the whole game. I can't do it now. I mean, I play it now. I mean, I still know a lot of it. I can do it on few lives. 8-Man, I got to the final boss, but I never learned how to complete the final boss. It just seemed to do things that were impossible. Plain and also, I did get quite good at Magician Lord, but the final level was just plain nonsense. Just nonsense.
Yeah.
One other thing as well for the Neo Geo is it had a memory card, and it was the first console I had that had a memory card. So I've still got a Neo Geo memory card floating around somewhere, which was nice.
Probably quite rare now.
And Jonzo was Metal Slug 1. Absolutely, you play that game and you learn it. You learn the bosses, you learn the moves. That's what Neo Geo is all about. It's about the pleasure of playing it and getting better and better and better and just enjoying that. Good times. Love the Neo Geo collection, for sure. And it's something that I feel has grown on me. And we went for a time where we went fully into 3D, you see, and it all got left behind for a bit, and then grew on me more and more, loving that 2D style.
It's aged very well.
Yeah, the 100 Mega Shock,
100 Mega Shock.
All I can think of is GameSack and their like 32 mega power thing that they do.
32, absolutely mega power. What was it?
Blast processing.
Just to answer your earlier question, by the way, or our earlier questions, there are 6 people streaming Destruction All Stars. One of them happens to have 6.3k viewers, but in general, they're getting about 10. Yep. So, for all intents and purposes, unless this person that's got 6.3k is playing it regularly, the game is dead.
Yeah.
As far as streaming goes, at least.
I think they should have delayed it. I think they should have delayed it until more stock was on the market.
I think it's a fine time to bring it out. I think they just need to keep it free. Keep it free, and fair enough. Just make money off of microtransactions if it's just cosmetic stuff. I'm not bothered about that. But when you've got like an online only game like that, I think you really need to make it free a lot of the time now to keep it alive.
Yeah. I suppose I just feel like if you had a bigger installed base, say an extra million people had a PlayStation, that's an extra million people that would have been playing it.
True.
It just seems to me that right now, because so few people have got a PS5, comparatively speaking, it's just not. It doesn't have enough of that hold on it for people. It's forgotten about. I just feel that like that's why Sony played it safe tonight. They need to buy time for developers, for technology and manufacturing, for various things to sort themselves out. So. Yeah, I would like to play it, but it doesn't. For me, it's not been a game for me. I think I'd like to see a new Twisted Metal, really.
Just that would be good.
It was good fun.
You get massive, open, destructible maps.
John's was just saying, either of you played that new Crazy Taxi ripoff?
I've seen it. Yeah. It looks pretty janky from what I've seen.
Right. Really, I haven't seen it running, but I have seen it. I will check it out at some point. What am I going to be checking out next? I've got couple of games I've got next week. It's going to be Monster Jam Steel Titans 2. So
is that the monster truck one?
Monster trucks, yep.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. It's not nothing to blow you away. Then I've got a bit of Monster Energy Supercross 4, which we all love a bit of that.
My favourite.
Your favourite game, Tom?
Yeah.
I'm going to play a bit of that, and then that's really it until something. What was announced today, though, was Hot Wheels Unleashed.
I heard about it. Is it just Xbox?
No, it's all formats.
Okay.
Check out the trailer. And it's if you've got an option there of checking out the trailer, it's on my channel, but it's anywhere. And
is it on your site?
Hot Wheels Unleashed on YouTube. Just on
YouTube. Hang on.
And I've already set up.
I can give you. We can give you some more views.
Give me some more views. Give me a view.
Guys, please give his YouTube a follow as well.
And
there we go. I haven't had a look at this yet.
No, there it is.
But no, I seen this Crazy Taxi rip-off, John. It looks like Crazy Taxi, but with all the soul ripped out of it.
Yeah, back on the sound then.
And we got a bit of Alien 3 music on at the moment.
Right.
Doesn't really go with this footage, but
no.
Does it show gameplay or is it just a CG thing?
Well, you see, I asked the games company. I said, "Is this target render footage, or what? Is this what we're targeting on PS5 and Xbox?" Because it's got all the. Obviously, they are targeting these effects now in games in the future.
Yeah.
They haven't come back to me at all. So
I can't see it looking this good.
I can't see it looking this good, but there might be some potential of effect here and there. But the idea is to give you a. That's what I was saying about target renders. It's the idea of building your own tracks because they've already got Track Builder on their other games.
Yeah.
So we know we're going to have that there, and the potential for this is huge if they can get it right. All the different cars and adventure areas and building your tracks and making it really good fun. Replays, if they can get replay cameras looking good. But yeah, detail on the cars is nice. They have great trailer, big booming music, fat beats, and because that was announced today. That comes out, I think, September. That's coming out.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah.
If they can get, I want a micro machines that doesn't control like shit. So if they could get that nailed, that'd be good.
Yeah. I mean, Codemasters have kind of dropped the ball with all that really in recent years. I don't really know where they've gone so wrong in producing some of their games. The best thing you can look at for that is Circuit Superstars.
I think I've probably seen that. The problem with that is I don't know if you find this, but a lot of those kind of games, the names just all blend together. They kind of get like lost. Like all the indie arcade racing games, they're all very similarly named. It seems.
Indie games, isn't it? I mean, it's. I mean, for those that have not seen, I'll just pop it in the link in your chat there, just of the trailer. But that's. Hold on.
John's saying with this soundtrack and these visuals, it could be a rock and roll racing reboot.
It's definitely. I mean, the artistic vision behind this trailer is wonderful. This is a really polished trailer.
Really good trailer, yeah.
Music, action, visuals. I mean, if the game looked anything like this, it would blow people's socks off. This is really ambitious for Milestone. They're a company that have really grown over the past 10 years, had a lot of investment. They've grown in Italy, and I may even do some see it behind the scenes at some point. But yeah, it's looking good. I just put in a link in the chat there of another indie game. That's an early version. That's an old trailer there from 2019, but still coming out this year. So that's been developed for years. But either way, that was a look at Hot Wheels. So that's been announced today. In terms of racing games, I have my own release schedule. So
there's still lots of stuff that's coming out, isn't there?
Yeah, well, we've got a new Need for Speed to be announced later this year.
I've kind of gone off the boil on those a bit.
Oh, well, it depends on Need for Speed is a hit and miss. And you never know till it comes what it's going to be. But there's not been a good Need for Speed game for many years. For the last quite a few years now, since probably 2013, nothing really.
What was the last one I played? It was Rivals. Was the last one I played. which was okay, but it was worse than Hot Pursuit. So,
I mean, they're all a bit naff, aren't they?
Hot Pursuit, the one that came after the Criterion one, I really enjoyed because it was basically Burnout.
Actually, here's a game. Here's one you might like, indie game. I'm just going to pop a link here now. Here we go. Hold on. Pop this link in the description here. Okay, so this is an indie game. Check that one out there. That takes you straight to the indie video on YouTube.
Oh, I was going to back this one on Kickstarter.
Yeah, one that's your vibe as well. Again, in development, that's the.
Yeah, I was going to back this one, but didn't get around to backing it in time.
It's coming along. I mean, they've been working on it for a long time. It's coming along.
They're going for the power drift sort of vibe, aren't they?
Yeah, and they've been changing the track design now, so they're making it smoother. So where it was really bumpy, they're changing it to a smoother style. But that's coming along. So yeah, it's got a nice sort of Super Nintendo style menus and stuff like that. You know, it's got
colourful
combined with sort of sprite scaling effects. I like it when indie studios try to do things like this with colour and, again, artistic style over anything else.
Yeah.
Really nice artistic style. I love this kind of stuff.
Oh, here we go. Mercy saying, good Need for Speed games are the ones that Black Box did. Most Wanted and Run were some of the good games.
Yeah, you know, I enjoyed the Run. I thought that was a real, again, that had that movie action vibe to it. You felt you were part of something, you know?
I wrote it off at the time, but I would really like to play it now.
Unfortunately for me, it was on multiple discs, I think, or something like that. I can't remember now.
Oh, really?
May have been, yeah, because it was a streaming game sort of thing, and it was you can only travel in one direction in it, something like that, down this like adventure, as it were. And I did a few videos on it, you know. I can't remember now.
It was like 10 years ago.
Most Wanted 2005 I liked. I didn't like Most Wanted 2012 at all.
See, I quite liked that one.
Well, it's funny actually. I met the developer of Most Wanted 2012, and he said to me, "What did you think of the different Need for Speeds?" I said, "Well, I really liked Most Wanted 2005. Don't get me wrong. I said it was a bit shoddy graphically, but it was a fun game. I liked the music and the atmosphere and the police music and." I said, by the end of the game, I felt like a cab driver. You know, if you said to me, take me to Camden, I knew the shortcut there. I knew where to park to dodge the cops. What did you think of 2012? I said, well, it wasn't so good. Anyway, the PR lady came back in the room and he says, we were just talking about Need for Speed. He says, my game's shit to me. I said, no, I wasn't saying it was shit. I said, it just wasn't my type of game. You're saying the game is shit to me, he says. And eventually I said, no, we had a discussion. It's like, okay, it was shit then. It was shit. Yeah, and so then we had this discussion and we got all right in the end. And then I went to see him. He got promoted and he was a senior man at DICE. And then when I went to Sweden, we had a good chat. We laughed about it in the end. And he kind of admitted it wasn't the game it should have been. So, you know, it's quite funny. But, you know, listen, you've got to be honest when you see a game.
I think you have to be honest. But at the same time, you can, like you said, it was just wasn't a game for you. I don't think it's necessarily a bad game, is it?
I thought it was a bad game.
Oh, you thought it was a bad game? Okay. Maybe I'm not remembering it correctly.
Gonzo liked the 3DO version, which was ace, by the way. So Need for Speed, when it launched, was Road and Track Presents. And in Road and Track Presents, you'd have this guy, that sleazy guy who would race you. And the whole thing about Need for Speed was it was your chance to drive a Lamborghini or Ferrari. Wow, never have that chance. Amazing. And there was a bit of suspension of disbelief when you got into the Ferrari or something. You imagined you were in it. And this guy was a real sleazeball that you'd be racing against, but he was quite funny. And the cops would get you and rough you up and all that kind of stuff. And it was a sim. It wasn't ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. Speed. The 3DO one was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then when they converted it to the PS1, they made it a bit faster, a bit more arcadey.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed initially, but I still enjoyed it massively with the new tracks. The new tracks weren't nearly as good in comparison. And then after that, Need for Speed 2 was rough as old boots. Need for Speed 3 still didn't look great, but it was fun and it had interactive music.
I really liked Need for Speed 3 on the PS1. I played the shit out of that one.
Did I? Yeah, I played a lot of it, and it had interactive music, was what I liked. So if you go back and play it today, each section of the course has a different piece of music made for that section.
Oh,
so
don't
you
remember
felt
that.
like a badass when you were playing, and it would get to a bit, and the music would change, and you're like, yeah, you feel like you're going fast. But yeah, interactive music, something we don't see very often on games or ever. And the real problem with that is that these days, the games developers are lazy when it comes to music now. So where they used to make awesome in-house music, now it's let's get some generic pop band on there. The big problem with that is
you need to play the new Doom, mate.
I do need to play the new Doom.
That's got reactive music to how well you're doing, and it will like finish properly. Like when you finished a battle, it will wind down like it should do. It's really good.
I need to. Yeah, I've got it. It's installed on my PC.
It's
and I do
really
need to play
good.
Doom. So I will play. I'm going to play Doom this weekend. I'm going to have a little look at it. I'm going to play a bit of Doom this weekend. If I will. I'm going to put a bit of time into it. Have a go. I like Doom. I love Doom. I'm a big Doom fan. So if there's any Doom fans in the chat, love a bit
I
of
would
Doom.
hope everyone, because everyone has good taste in my chat.
Love a bit of Doom. Doom. Absolutely. Yes, Jonzo remembers the guy you wanted to punch in the face in Need for Speed. Absolutely. Yeah, he was funny. He was so sleazy.
I don't remember this. Was it only in the 3DO version?
Only in the 3DO version. They had
Okay.
FMV was a thing back then, and I remember they had there was another game called Twisted, Twisted Game Show, which again was FMV. but
Oh, I think I remember
really
that.
good fun. If you played it with friends, it was hilarious. Again, it was a really cool concept. Time to get twisted. So
Is it like
yeah.
the guy that looked a bit like Doc out of Back to the Future? Like
He
kind
might have been-
of
like
like
that
grey
Twisted,
hair.
There might be a character like that,
Yeah.
but no. Yeah, Need for Speed though. Do check it out at some point. I was playing a game recently. Obviously, recently I was playing Radmobile on the Sega Astro Mini.
I saw, yeah.
And it's quite funny where the cop arrests you, or even just pulls his gun out and shoots you through the windscreen, dead. Quite funny. Whereas in the various EA games, the cop would arrest you and put you in the boot of his car or something like that. It was not something you'd ever see today, But there were various.
Maybe they could do that, like something a bit more tongue in cheek. Maybe.
No, I just don't see it happening now. Unfortunately, I think because it's just the way games are marketed now. They're so specific in the marketing that the marketing has as much power over game development as the game developers do, which is not a good thing. But they have so much influence over that, and they'll say, "Oh, we're spending money on creating this, putting the person in the boot of a car sequence. Should we have that? And how much is it going to cost to develop? And who's it going to appeal to?" And
bit of controversy helps nowadays, isn't it?
yeah, I think so. Controversy used to help. I think today it seems to be more of a hindrance now, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It depends, really. It depends how controversial we're talking, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose. But something like that's tongue in cheek, fun. But no, like you say, you had some good like FMV elements. Did they have FMV elements in Road Rash as well? Road Rash on the 3DO was really impressive as well.
I've got the Saturn version of that.
Have you?
Yeah.
I remember the 3DO version being better than any other version as well for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's in my mind. Certainly, Total Eclipse was better on the 3DO than it was on the PlayStation. That's for certain. So
there's do you know Retrocore? The channel.
Which one? Retrocore.
Retrocore.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, Battle of the Ports. They did a Road Rash 3DO one, comparing it to like the Saturn and the PlayStation. Might be worth looking at that, because I can't remember which one actually was the best. I think they're pretty similar though, quality-wise.
It ran faster on the PlayStation, but it didn't play as well. That was the problem. The ship control was all over the place. It just, wasn't great. And whereas on the 3DO, I remember being able to play it pretty well. Wow, good times. I have to admit, my memories. I used to play all this in shops back in the day.
Yeah, Dixon's.
Dixon's
and Virgin.
HMV Games Department. That's where you'd find me.
Yeah, I was the same.
Yeah. Couldn't afford the games, go to the shop and play them.
Just watch people play them.
It's crazy, really, when you think about it today.
Well, with access to Twitch, like you can just watch anyone play anything you wanted.
Yeah. Whereas then you didn't see Jack unless you went to a shop and you queued to get on the machine, or you went there at 9 o'clock in the morning when there was nobody there.
Dude, I wasn't able to see Jack anyway because I was such a fucking short ass. Couldn't see the screen past all the tall kids. You didn't have any problems there, did you?
Yeah.
Fucking Gandalf over here.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Alan, I was going to say, I'm going to have to call it in a minute because I haven't had any dinner yet.
Oh, me neither. Actually, I've literally been called in here and I thought, that's an idea, Tom. Why don't we chat about PlayStation 2 hours later?
I had a feeling it would get a little bit out of hand, but I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. It is all good, actually. I've enjoyed it tonight. Well, we'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah. Well, if we ever do anything like this, you're more than welcome to jump on.
Yeah, well, it helps with conferences and stuff like this. And I think we can do like a joint stream. So when I'm streaming it, we can do something like that as well. I think that'll work perfectly.
Depends if you don't mind swear words in your stream.
Swear words. Do you know what? It's okay. I've actually got a button, so I can actually...
you won't be able to hear anything else.
And I can do whatever I want now because I've got a nice bleep button handy at all times.
You cannot bleep me.
So yeah, okay. I can do it all I want now. So bleep button ready.
That button would get destroyed if I used it.
Swear pot, just for Tom. Swear button ready to go. Yeah. I love it. No. Do you know this GoXLR thing is pretty damn awesome, and I have to, there's a lot of fun I'm going to have with it in the coming months, but still a lot to learn. I've got the new mic, so sounding all professional gradually.
It sounds nice. It sounds good on my end.
There's work to do on it. It's still there's still a bit of muffling here and there, but it's complicated. But I'll get there in the end. But anyway, Tom, no, it's been good chatting.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
And that's it from me then. I'll make a move. And,
do you want to just plug yourself one more time? Not actually, that sounds dodgy, doesn't it? Do you want to give yourself a plug before you go?
Plug myself to viewers. Well, no, I just want to say thanks to everybody for listening to the chat tonight, and do jump on to my stream. Follow. I play racing games, retro games, and stuff like that, various stuff. And like you say, we'll do more of this in the future as well. But thanks everybody tonight for listening. Thanks, Tom. I'm going to make a move.
Yeah, pleasure, man.
And,
take care of yourself.
That's it from me. And as ever, more soon.
See you later, man.
All right, bye-bye.
There we go. God, it's been a while since I've had someone on the stream. It's fun listening in on you guys. Yeah, no, Cap, I'm glad you liked it. I'm sorry we didn't kind of get to the chat a bit more. I think that's one of those things we kind of have to get used to when you got like more than one person on. I think it's more difficult to get to the chat. I think if me and Alan do that a bit more often, maybe we'll just try and work out, try and take a breath almost in between the chat so we can kind of catch up. But this time is mostly cooking and eating for me, so I get quiet too. Oh, no, fair enough then. Fair enough. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It was I had a really good time. It was like a podcast. See, I'd always like to do a podcast, but I honestly don't think I've got the. I don't think I could do it regularly enough to do one, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? I really don't think I'd do well on that front.